C'est le boo, everybody, and welcome back to the HabWrap. I am your host, Harry Rice. You are listening to the friendliest and funniest source for anything and everything Montreal Canadiens. And tonight, well, unfortunately, was not a good follow-up to the game we played last night against the Vancouver Canucks. We were in Washington. Lately, we've seemed to have a lot of struggles against Washington. I feel like it's been that way since Ovechkin got on the team, but I feel like there was a couple of years there where we were really able to beat Washington. But yeah, of course, we lost to them. What was it, 8-2? Was it 8-1? I forget what the final score was. They put up 8 on us last time we played them, I know that. But yeah, not a good game for the Montreal Canadiens. We are going to talk about it. It starts off good for the first two periods. I'll say this much. It starts out good for the first two periods. And then the third came, and it's like we realized, hey, wait, we played last night. We're not supposed to be able to keep pace in the second game of a back-to-back. And they got gassed, which really sucks. But there's a few things that are pretty cool to note. Before we talk about those cool things, we got to talk about the lines, of course. So, the opening lines for the Canadiens were Caulfield, Suzuki, Texier, Slafkovsky, Kapanen, Demidov, Bolduc, Danault, Anderson. So Anderson returns to the lineup. Blais, Veleno, Gallagher were the forward core. Matheson, Dobson, Hudson, Carrier, and Struble, Jackeye. That's right, Gooley is out of the lineup tonight. Thankfully, it's not an injury. Don't worry. I put that on my alternate Twitter account. I just commented all caps Gooley onto the lineup, and someone told me, I think it was before the broadcasters could too, funny enough, but they told me that it's basically load management for Caden Gooley. They don't want him getting hurt. They don't want to, force him back into the lineup, which is firstly probably why he's been playing third pairing minutes anyways. But they wanted to have some load management with him, so he won't play tonight. Very likely he does play Thursday against Buffalo, but we shall see, of course. And in net, it's Samuel Montembeault. He gets the start for the Canadiens, and Jakub Dobeš backs him up. They give Fowler the complete night off. I would expect Fowler Thursday. However, with how good Samuel Montembeault was tonight, I don't want to rush into anything and say any rash things, but I think he's back as the starter. Samuel Montembeault, he's 3-0-1 since coming back up. He's had great stats, even though his overall stats, unfortunately, are still weighed down by just the bad before he got sent to Laval for conditioning. But since coming back up, he's been really good. I still think Jakub Dobeš is probably the third goaltender right now and should probably be in Laval right now. The opening lines for the Capitals. Let me know what you guys think, by the way. The opening lines for the Capitals were Ovechkin, Strome, Protas, Beauvillier, McMichael, Leonard, Duhaime, Dowd, Frank, and Milano, Lapierre, Leeson. I forgot how to say that for a second. I was like, how the hell do you say Brett Leeson? Sandin, Carlson, February, Waugh, and Van Riemsdyk, McElrath were on the blue line. Logan Thompson gets the start for the Capitals, and Charlie Lindgren backs him up, as he's been doing. Logan Thompson, who's, I believe, one of the Canada goalies this year at the Olympics. He's been good this season. Charlie Lindgren, not so much, unfortunately, for Habs fans and card collectors alike. But now, aside from that, of course, we're done with the lines. We can get into the actual game itself. The first period, off a turnover, Suzuki finds Texier, but that's just wide. And Habs go to a power play very, very early on, just 59 seconds in. Suzuki gets tripped by Faharvary. I still don't know how to pronounce that dude's name. He goes to the box just a minute in. Caps do clear early. There's a good look for the top unit. Suzuki finds Slav sort of during a line change. There's a look there. Habs have one saved. Hudson just holds a line, puck at the line as he went for a change, but the Habs end up 0-for-1 on the power play. There's a shot deflected out of play by Suzuki. The Canadiens start to press. I lost my place, my apologies. The Capitals start to press. There's a couple rush looks. Monty does eventually hold one as we go to commercial. Capitals then get a look. Leeson in front has a pad stop for Montembeault. He'd made a couple saves at this point, but not too many that were high risk plays, which is very good in my opinion. Yeah. Veleno then gets called for a hook. That's about 8 minutes into the game. He goes off for 2 or less. And then the Canadiens score 20 seconds into the penalty kill. Josh Anderson with a nice poke. He gets away on a 2-on-1 Philip Deneau. He just takes the shot, and he scores. Josh Anderson with the 1-0 lead for the Montreal Canadiens. He gets his 10th goal of the year. That's a little surprising. He scores unassisted at 8:14. Deneau then has a good steal as the Caps try to get into the Canadian zone. He just ends up dumping it on net. The Habs then dump again on an attempted cycle by the Capitals. There's an OV shot deflected out of play. The Habs go 1-for-1 on the penalty kill tonight. There's a stop for Montembeault. Carrier clears a man in front and makes sure not to take a penalty there. Habs end up clearing the puck from the net as well. The Habs were good defensively for the first 2 periods. Again, we'll talk about it when we get to it. No clue what happened in that 3rd period, though. Off the puck battle, there's good possession for the Canadiens. A pass to Kapanen right in front deflects into the crowd. Canadiens get some pressure. Deneau almost gets set up by Anderson. There's a good hit by Bolduc along the boards. Caps then go offside. Carlson in Ovi's spot has a one-timer. That's a good save by Montembeault. Habs top line looks to press again. There's a good Texier pass to hold it in as 2 Capitals ended up pressuring him. Texier then has a nice cross-check along the benches. Second line gets a great shift as Demidov and Slavkovsky with some good stick handling to avoid some checks. And right in front, Kapanen has a shot that's just stopped. That was really good. Nearly made it 2-0, but Thompson very, very quick to stop Kapanen almost in the crease, I'm pretty sure he was. Anderson ends up beating a man to a puck on a race. He sets up Deneau, who just sends it wide. Habs ice a puck with 1:13 left off an attempt to get Suzuki on a break. Habs do get it, but the Caps break it back in. Kapanen ends up turning it over to Ovechkin. Monty makes a good pad save with just a handful of seconds left. So after the first period, the Capitals lead the shots 11-9. The Habs, though, have a 1-0 lead after the initial 20 minutes. The Habs ice a puck 16 seconds in. Habs do get the puck out. Caulfield has a 2-on-1. Good look for the shot. The shot gets saved. There's a rebound. Caulfield goes for the wrap himself. Thompson, I believe, makes the save. The puck gets into the slot. Texier gets it. And Thompson again with another save. Basically a wide open net for Texier. 90% of other goalies in the league, and that's going to the back of the net. Thompson's in that 10% where tonight he's making that save, unfortunately. Habs do have good transition. Kapanen ends up dumping in a puck before a change. Deneau ends up bumping Thompson before a puck is sent out of play. TVR has a look. There's a good save for Montembeault. Capitals do push for a minute. Their bottom 6 get a few good shifts. Their bottom 6 was generally the best area of the game for the Capitals. They're Ethen Franks, they're Sonny Milanos. Those guys, they had very good games. The top 6 looking very old as they sort of are. Again, just the Capitals are going to have a rough future, assuming that they don't get rid of Ovechkin. Assuming that they don't get rid of Ovechkin next year. The Canadiens end up pressing for a little while, and we score. Surprisingly, Brendan Gallagher makes it 2-0 at 7:40. He scores from Deneau and Bolduc. This is at the point that Gallagher was about to score. We ended up having more technical glitches. But yeah, we did see the goal. Gallagher just kind of in the slot. Nice pass from Deneau. One times it in. It's a good goal. I don't know what to say. Brendan Gallagher, 4th of the year. Keep doing that. Maybe we won't need to buy you out next offseason. Or this offseason. And then McElrath with a big hit on Struble. He was down a little bit. And here we go. Arbor Jacki, his first fight in forever. His first fight in forever. The Montreal Canadiens letting him fight again. Wow, what a noble concept. He ends up fighting Curtis McFrickin Dermott. Which, yeah, that all of a sudden looks very, very beastly. Yeah, both guys just kind of exchange a couple punches early on. At one point, Jack-Eye eventually gets the upper hand. McDermott goes down. Jack-Eye rabbit punches him in the back of the head a couple times. You'll love to see that. Jack-Eye standing up for a teammate. That's always awesome. And then the penalties come out. So Jack-Eye and Nakarath each get 5 for fighting, which is fair. Jack-Eye gets 2 and a 10 for instigating. Because, of course, the officials would give Arbor Jack-Eye 2 for instigating. It's not an always thing that they need to give the instigator, but of course it would be on one of the best fighters in the league that they punish him for doing something he does well. Whatever. Habs are on the penalty kill. Like I said, for 2 or less. There's a clear early on. Anderson nearly steals for a shorty. Capitals end up setting up. The Habs just not letting them get much at all. There is a late press. There's a chance for the Capitals. Monty sees the puck all the way. Habs are 2 for 2 in the penalty kill tonight. And then they go back a minute after they kill that one off. Caulfield gets called 2 for a trip. That sucks. Anderson has a nice whack at the puck to clear 200 feet. Kapanen then whacks one down. Capitals' power play at this point isn't even because of good Canadiens penalty killing. It's just their own volition. Their power play looks awful. Nothing for them. They can barely get in the zone. Anderson has another clear. Kapanen then clears in the last seconds. The Habs are 3 for 3 on the penalty kill tonight. Yeah, I see why Capitals fans don't like their power play. Losing Ovechkin, I'd imagine, will probably help that next year. Dobson and Dowd with a little bit of shoving after a whistle. Suzuki comes in there to help his D-man out. There's some back and forth, but not many chances. I should mention, the first period was very fast-paced. I think they got it done around 8:41, 8:42. Most of the periods, first periods, usually end at 46 to 47, from what I've noticed. So a little bit of faster pace to the first period, but the second period, it slowed down at points. It really slowed down. The Caps do try to break through. Canadiens D was looking solid at this stage. Second line has a cycle for the Canadiens. Slav sets up Hudson, who finds Dobson, but the shot is blocked. There's a rebound, and Kapanen just misses getting his stick on it. That was in the slot. That would have been a really good chance to make it 3-0. Habs do ice a puck with 4 minutes left. Matheson ends up bobbling one at the blue line. That ends up coming out. There's a puck battle along the boards, and the Canadiens end up going to a power play out of it. Texier gets called. Texier. He gets called for getting slashed. I don't know why. No, Strome gets called for slashing Texier. That'll be 2 or less. And just about a minute in, we get some 5-on-3. Suzuki gets high sticked by Nick Dowd. The one thing that I didn't like is that the Canadiens, because that was called. There was after the ref's hand goes up. There's probably about 30 seconds of pressure for the Canadiens, which typically it's like, okay, yeah, you're pressuring on the power play. That's fine. That's really good, right? And it's like, most of the time. But if you have an opportunity to get about a minute and a half of 5-on-3 time, you'd think you'd want to take it, right? You wouldn't want to just, oh yeah, let's pressure, And I get the mindset is, okay, well, you score now. You then get a full 2-minute power play, which then allows you to maybe go up by more, which like, okay, that's understandable. But I'd rather have a very easy 5-on-3 situation where the pressure is not on you to score. The pressure is on the other team to kill off said 5-on-3 to where you're just able to play your game, basically. That's the way I see it. I think they should have given them the puck right away. Habs fans, let me know what you guys think. Or just hockey fans in general, let me know what you think. Marty ends up calling his timeout to get the troops rested up. This would end up backfiring because we really needed that timeout in the third period. Dobson has a one-timer blockered away. Caulfield has a look that gets saved. There is missed interference on the Capitals. Suzuki sets up Davidoff, who doesn't say sorry enough. No, he doesn't like the shot that he gets a look at. Caulfield has a one-timer, but that doesn't go home. The Habs power play just was not looking good, unfortunately. The 5-on-4 looks okay, but Capitals do clear late. The Habs will have roughly 25 seconds left of power play time to start the second period. As of now, though, the Canadiens are, I believe, 0 for 2. Yes, 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. That sucks. What doesn't suck, Canadiens have a 2-0 lead after the second period. They lead the shots 20-17. A very half-decent second period, I'd say, for the Canadiens. All they got to do, they just got to hold on for another 20 minutes, and the game's theirs. It should be that easy, right? Right? To start the third, there's a Caulfield shot stopped early during the power play. Capitals send it down. Again, 25 seconds left. You weren't going to get that much. The Habs are 0 for 3 on the power play tonight. Monty has a very good save on Ethen Frank in the slot. Capitals pressed in the opening 2 minutes. There's some good saves for Monty early. The Capitals were really starting to press at this stage. And spoiler alert, the third period is... kind of all Washington. Spoilers. Habs do go the other way. Demidov has a one-timer that hits Rasmus Sandin. Habs can't get the 3-goal lead. Protas goes back the other way. Hudson was all over him, though. There is a shot that eventually gets sent out of play. Gallagher turns the puck over. He then avoids a hit from Ovechkin when he gets the puck again. Caps rush the other way. There's a pass to Ovi that gets blocked. Monty quickly holds. Caulfield nearly finds Texie on a 2-on-1, but that gets picked off. The Capitals cycle, good chances. Dobson playing good D to stop any high danger chances, but there were still shots getting to Montembeault. Bolduc has a nice hit on Sandin as the Habs try to recover. Caps go back the other way, and they score at 5:06. They finally get one behind Samuel Montembeault. It's a Matt Roy shot. Ethen Frank ends up tipping it home. That's a 1-goal game now. Nothing Monty can do. It was a really nice deflection by Ethen Frank. He gets his 9th goal of the season. He scores from Roy and Sandin. I'm pretty sure it's Matt Roy. I don't think it's Matt Waugh, right? I'm pretty sure it's Roy. So Frank scores from Roy and Sandin. 5 minutes in. It's just 1 goal now. We'll see. We'll see how the Canadiens can hold on to this, right? The Capitals are given too much. Sorry. Capitals are given too much space to generate offense. Hopefully the momentum shifts back to us soon. Capitals, though, off a turnover, they do press hard. Monty was the only reason the Canadiens were even in the game at this point. It could have been 3-2 for the Capitals at this stage in the third period. Spoilers. Off turnover, the Capitals press again. They then ice a puck. We needed something off the icing. Habs then ice a puck about a minute later. Canadiens just were not playing good. The Caps had full momentum at about 9 minutes in. They were going to tie the game up. I put that 9 minutes in. Frank has a big hit on Kapanen in the corner. Habs couldn't get out of their own zone. There's a good wrap for McMichael, but Monty makes the save. And the Capitals get a power play. Sammy Blais gets called halfway through the period for a trip on Trevor Van Riemsdyk. That's 200 feet from his own net. That sucks for Sammy Blais. Suzuki has a good clear. There's another one at the line. He and Deneau end up getting it down. And late in the power play, the only thing of note, Monty robs Brett Leeson on a cross crease. A very good pad save there. Samuel Montembeault deserved the first star of the game tonight. Thankfully, he did get it, but just saying, he fully deserved that third star of the game, because just absolutely insane what this dude did for the Canadiens to help them out tonight. He's played phenomenal hockey. He's just played incredible hockey tonight. He's played great again since he got called back up from Laval. Technically he didn't get called up. He was just on a conditioning stint, but you get what I mean. He's played brilliant hockey since coming back, and I think that he really showed that he is the starting goaltender again. Because of that save and the clear that follows, the Canadiens are 4 for 4 on the penalty kill. Suzuki comes in on a near break. The shot is saved with the pad of Thompson. And the Habs end up getting a power play with 6 minutes left, just about 6 minutes left. Nick Dowd's called for a hold on Jack-Eye. He literally holds the jersey. He's arguing with the officials. A big break for the Canadiens midway through the second half of the game, of the period, I should say. It was very obvious, and Dowd slams the penalty box door shut, and that's his night. He's given a 10-minute misconduct to go with it. Yeah, also, I do love that on the NHL.com site, they say, for here, it's just 10 minutes for misconduct. It's just, I get that it is, hey, it's just, it's a misconduct, It's, you don't do that. But it's just so funny that it's worded 10 minutes for misconduct. It's just, I don't know, I find that funny. Caps clear twice. Slavkovsky gets hard. Let me rephrase that. Slavkovsky. Yeah, Slavkovsky's got hard on the ice for some reason. I don't know what the fuck happened, but no, he gets hit hard without the puck. There's no call. Caps get a clear. Kapanen then gets hit hard after a pass to Bolduc, who ends up getting a shot on goal. Habs just could not get anything on net. They needed an insurance goal. They end up 0 for 4 on the power play. Veleno's line gets some zone time. Sandin breaks his stick, but he can't get anything. Capitals get a chance. Thompson's heading to the bench, and they score about 5 seconds after Thompson gets to the bench. Who else would it be? Ethen Frank, the new Alex Ovechkin, apparently. Ethen Frank gets a second of the night. He ties it on a really good tip. Yuri Slavkovsky, I mean, can you really blame him? I mean, it's a good tip by Frank. If Slav's tying up the stick, though, it's very likely that shot doesn't go home. But again, at the same time, it's a good tip. It's hard to blame Slav fully on that one, but I do think that he should be able to tie the stick up. You would think, you would hope, but either way, the game is tied. You just got to hold for the last 2 minutes and at least get a point out of tonight. So naturally, the Capitals score. No, they thankfully don't score with like a minute left. That I would be pissed if that happened. McMichael has speed. He beats his men to the outside, but there's a shot gloved and held by Montembeault. The Habs do press in the final minute. Slavkovsky's good on the puck. He does get a sharp angle shot, but that unfortunately gets saved. Habs do try to get something in the dying minutes. They want to end this one, but to no avail, unfortunately. The shots in the period were 15-5 for the Capitals. The shots overall in the game now are 32-25 for the Capitals. We're tied 2-2 headed into overtime. In said overtime, the Habs do win the initial draw. They get control. There's a Suzuki shot 40 seconds in that gets held. That is the only shot the Canadiens will have for overtime. There's a Sandin chance that's stopped by Montembeault. Ethen Frank dances Kapanen and Hudson. There's a good pad stop, though, there for Montembeault. If Ethen Frank had a hat trick, again, I mentioned earlier, I really like Ethen Frank. If Ethen Frank scored a hat trick, I would have lost my shit. Even though I like the guy, he should not be getting a hat trick against any team, really. I like the guy, but just, Jesus. Frank almost gets another look there. Carlson does. The shot gets held. There's a rebound. He pokes at the puck. Hudson doesn't like that. Gives him a little shot. We get a little bit of a scrum. Slaps in there. And then on the next shift, the Canadiens take a penalty. Suzuki gets called for 2 on a trip on Connor McMichael. Damn it. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I have to say this. Nick, despite hitting 50 points, has had a very rough, 6 games. I don't know what it is about January. I don't know if he's just nervous for the Olympics, if he's just excited for the Olympics and wants to conserve himself and make sure he's healthy for them. I don't know if he just has a lingering injury again, but just Nick Suzuki the past 6 or so games has not looked like Nick Suzuki. You know, he's very much looking like a secondary player right now. And I'm not saying that he is going to be for the rest of the season or his career. Just right now, he is taking a back seat while Slavkovsky and Demidov and Dobson, Kapanen, while these guys, well, maybe not Dobson, but Hudson and Texier, while these guys are able to go to the forefront. Despite saying that, I think Suzuki still has 8 points in his last 10 games. It's just that defensively, I think we want a little bit more out of Nick Suzuki than we've been getting, unfortunately. So that sucks. However, off the draw, you got to kill it. So we'll find out. The Capitals control off the draw. Strome hits the crossbar. Jesus. Carlson misses on a one-timer. Habs end up with a clear. That's huge. There's a man in front. There's a shot saved off Ovechkin. The rebound, Ovi, and another save for Samuel Montembeault. Monty then faces his 40th shot of the night. There's a good save again with 8 seconds left on the penalty kill. Washington calls their timeout. Ovi gets 2 chances. One gets blocked, and another gets saved. The Habs are 5 for 5 on the penalty kill tonight. Jesus. And then shortly after, the Capitals, they win. The Capitals, Montembeault ends up holding a puck just to make it 3-on-3 again, because Suzuki out of the box, that's a 4-on-4, which is understandable. Caps off the draw, they get control. The Canadiens, for some reason, put Hudson and Slavkovsky out there. McMichael finds a puck, he gets a shot, gets his own rebound, and puts it home. Slavkovsky's got to be better defensively. He needed to tie up Connor McMichael there in some way, impede in him. I talked about him getting hard, and now he's in someone. Jesus. But yeah, he needed to do something to give McMichael some difficulty. Even if McMichael still does score, we can at least say, hey, Slav was trying, but just McMichael just got very lucky and still put it home. Instead of, McMichael had a really, really easy, wide open net. And, unfortunately, McMichael scores with just about 39 seconds left. He gets it from Strome and Sandin. So the Canadiens lose in overtime despite being up 2-0 after 40 minutes of play. The shots in overtime were 10-1 for the Capitals. They got 10 straight shots, by the way. I have no clue why or how it took until the third period for the tiredness of the Canadiens to hit them, especially after they played really, really well against the Canucks. But then again, they are the worst team in the National Hockey League. I mean, I would still say that's the Winnipeg Jets, but the statistical worst team in the National Hockey League are the Vancouver Canucks, and we put up 40 shots on them the night before. It took way too long for that tiredness to kick in, and then when it did, it really bit us in the ass. I'm happy we at least got a point out of the game. I'm just disappointed, though, with how this game went. The final shots in the game, by the way, are 42-26 for the Capitals, which is insane. Once the third period hit, the Canadiens get outshot 25-6, which you never want to see. Even if you're the worst team in the league, you don't want to see that. Especially not when you're a playoff team and trying to win a Stanley Cup. You definitely don't want to be getting outshot 25-6 in any game whatsoever. But just like I said in the game before Vancouver, which I can't remember what that game was. I have to scroll back up in my my game notes. It was the Detroit game. Much like with the Detroit game, I'm not gonna get too mad. Again, it sucks that we got tired and we really took our foot off the pedal in that third period. But you just dust this one off. Slavkovsky hopefully looks at the video and realizes, if he hasn't already realized, that he does need to be better in his own zone. He needs to be able to give the team a chance to win defensively as well as offensively, as good as he's been there. I'm sure whenever they look at video footage, Marty and the coaches are going to go over that with him, so I'm not going to even try to tear Slafkovsky a new one for that. He doesn't deserve it, but, there's still probably going to be some people who do. But, like I said, with the Detroit game, dust it off, you look at the replay, you improve on it, you go play Buffalo on Thursday. They've been hot recently. That's going to be a good challenge for the Montreal Canadiens. If you put up this type of effort again, that's the point where you really start to get worried. But if they're able to rebound, and again, even if they lose, but it's just a hard-fought game, I think I'd be fine. Obviously, I want to win, but, we get a point tonight at least, which does help us out. Obviously, I would have preferred the win because that would have tied us with the Red Wings and actually put us above them because we are better than the Red Wings. But that would have put us above them and 1 point back of the Tampa Bay Lightning, even though they do have 2 games in hand on us. It still would have been nice to have a 7-point lead. Actually, it would have been an 8-point lead, actually, on the second wildcard spot instead of just a 7-point lead like we have coming out of tonight. Regardless, until the Leafs play, who knows? It might be a 4-point lead on the first wildcard at least. But that game against Buffalo, that's going to be a 4-point game. Because say we lose to Buffalo in regulation, they're only 5 points back of us all of a sudden. However, we win against them, we're up 9 points on them, which really looks good. Not just them, but Philly, Pittsburgh, and Boston as well. So, yeah, we're going to have to really hope that we play well against Buffalo. Regardless, that does it for the actual game recap. We're going to get to the notes, and we're going to get on out of here because this game just kind of sucked, and I think we all want to move on from it. Tomorrow, afternoon, you know what I mean. I will get to another part of the DVD collection video, and I think tomorrow as well what I'm going to do is I'm going to finally record the box sets, because weirdly enough, that's still the only part of the reviews, the only part of the DVD collection that I haven't actually recorded yet is the box set thing, so I'll do that, and so new DVD collection video in the afternoon. If you're watching this in the afternoon, well, then it's probably going to be within a couple hours. So, yeah. Nick Suzuki leads the Montreal Canadiens with 14 goals, 36 assists for 50 points. Lane Hudson has 8 goals, 37 assists for 45 points. Cole Caulfield leads the Habs with 21 goals and 22 assists for 43 points. He's surprisingly goalless in his last 4 games. Ivan Demidov with 10 goals, 29 assists for 39 points. He is goalless in 9 straight games. It doesn't seem like it, but surprisingly, yeah. Yuri Slafkovsky, 17 goals, 21 assists for 38 points. Noah Dobson with 9 goals, 20 assists for 29 points. Oliver Kapanen with 16 goals, 11 assists for 27 points. Mike Matheson, 5 goals, 16 assists for 21 points. Zach Bolduc with 10 goals, 8 assists for 18 points. He breaks a 9-game pointless drought with an assist tonight. Alex Texier, 7 goals, 9 assists for 16 points with 8 points in his last now 5 games. And by the way, Zach Bolduc with 14 of his 18 points scored on the road this year. I know it's been a while since he scored, so yeah. Brendan Gallagher, he's got 4 goals, 11 assists for 15 points. Josh Anderson, 10 goals, 4 assists, 14 points for him. Alexander Carrier with 3 goals, 11 assists for 14 points, and 5 points in his last 6 games. He's been quite good. Alex Newhook, who is unfortunately still hurt, with 6 goals, 6 assists for 12 points. Jake Evans, who is unfortunately still hurt, 5 goals, 5 assists for 10 points. Kirby Dach, who is unfortunately still hurt, 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points for him. Jaden Struble with 6 assists. Sammy Blais with 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. Joe Veleno with 2 goals and 2 assists for 4 points. Phil Deneau in his time with the Canadiens so far with 4 assists. Caden Gooley and Arbor Jacki each with a goal and an assist this season. Arbor Jacki is also rocking a 16-game pointless drought again. Owen Beck, who again was a healthy scratch tonight when Anderson comes back, he has a goal and an 8-game pointless drought. That stays at a 7-game pointless drought because he, again, didn't play tonight, so doy. Patrick Laine, who is unfortunately still hurt. Florian Jacki and Jared Davidson, who are unfortunately still in the AHL. They all have an assist this year. Arbor Jacki leads the Canadiens with 7 fights. Josh Anderson and Jaden Struble each have 2. Joe Veleno, Caden Gooley, and Florian Jacki in the NHL all have a fight as well. Jakub Dobeš leads the Canadiens with a 14-5-3 record, a 3.01 goals against average, and an .888 save percentage. Samuel Montembeault, an 8-6-2 record with a 3.35 goals against average and an .874 save percentage. Again, He's slowly bumping that up. I unfortunately don't think, even if he plays really well for the rest of the season, I don't think he'll be able to get to a 900 save percentage. But he'll be known as a 900 goalie in my heart because, again, if he plays well for the rest of the season, you can take that first part of the season and shove it up someone's ass. By the way, last 4 games, the Monty haters, very, very silent. Jacob Fowler, also, by the way, with a 4-3-2 record, a 2.46 goals against average, and a 908 save percentage, along with the lone shutout for the Montreal Canadiens on the year so far. So, yeah. That is going to do it for this episode of the HabWrap. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit the follow button if you're on Spotify, Amazon, wherever you might be listening to the podcast on. And don't forget to share with anybody who you think might enjoy it, such as a fellow Montreal Canadiens fan, a hockey fan who's maybe looking for a Canadiens podcast, or someone who you think just might enjoy listening to the Montreal, some fat kid from Quebec talk about the Montreal Canadiens for half an hour after every game. Again, that is going to do it for this episode of the HabWrap. Thank you all so much for watching. My name's Harry Rice, and always remember, no matter how good we were like last year, how good we are like this year, or how great we're going to be in the future, Allez Montreal, go Habs go, and say it with me everybody, c'est la boue!